Magic 102.1, the People's Station. And look, there's been a lot of storms here recently. It's been bad in our area, and there's a lot of information and misinformation. And we have a young lady here that is promising to give us the correct information as it relates to FEMA as they deal with these kind of situations. But I'm going to go back a little bit. First of all, tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Lenisha Smith, and I am a FEMA spokesperson.
All right. Now, Ms. Smith, for those that may not know what FEMA even stands for, let's start with the basics. FEMA is
the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
And people usually seek out FEMA when what happens?
Typically, a lot of people don't know what FEMA is until they actually have to apply for FEMA assistance, which is unfortunate.
Yes.
And so FEMA will provide financial assistance to survivors who have acquired some disaster-related damage to their homes. We can help them with home repairs, home replacements, and financial assistance to help repair their personal property as well.
All right, so is there a list of who should see you and then how to contact you? And while I'm saying that, also, I want to keep in mind that in these disasters, sometimes it may be hard for people to contact you because they may have lost the ability to contact you. So are there other ways?
Yeah. So we encourage anyone who has experienced some damage related to the disaster. There are a few ways that you can contact FEMA. So you can call the FEMA helpline number, which is 1-800-621-3362. You can go on disasterassistance.gov, or you can go into a disaster recovery center. Now we have a few, or I will say we have many in the greater Houston area, and they're centers where survivors can go in person and sit down with a FEMA representative. Now they can help you with your initial application, or if you already have an existing application and you have any questions or you need to submit any documentation, you can do that there as well. Or if you need to get directed to another agency or organization, we also have the Small Business Administration, who is located in the disaster recovery centers, and they offer low-interest disaster loans. Survivors they're not required to take a loan. If they don't want to, if they're not interested in something like that, then we can also direct them to a non-governmental agency who can help provide them with assistance as well.
Is there a list somewhere where they can find out where you guys are located? Because there will be those people that will want a more human
interaction. Yeah,
yes,
I totally that's totally understandable. I know it's a lot easier to work through the process when you get to sit down face to face with someone. So you can go to FEMA.gov/DRC. You can type in your zip code, and then all of the close centers that are near you will pop up.
Is there ever a situation where there's so much disaster going on that FEMA is in a bind where they cannot help you?
So when there is a federally declared disaster, that is when FEMA steps in. I know a lot of people think that, there's been a really bad storm. Where's FEMA? Where's FEMA? That's not the case.
Okay.
So the governor has to request federal assistance to the president. Then it has to get approved by him. And then FEMA is able to step in once there is that disaster declaration and provide assistance to folks.
Now, what's some of the biggest misconceptions or misinformation that you guys get when they walk in? Well, I heard blah, 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 dabba dooba dabba doo. You gotta, no, sir, that's not right.
Of course. So there's always going to be rumors every disaster. I think the big one here is around folks who have insurance. A lot of people think that since I have insurance, I'm not going to be eligible for FEMA assistance. So this is for renters and homeowners. If you have renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, you still may be eligible to receive something from FEMA for those underinsured damages to your home. And also we know that people are experiencing really high deductibles with their insurance. So if they need some assistance for that, they may be eligible to get some assistance from FEMA to help pay those deductibles as well.
All right, and here's the big one. So if they need to get in contact with you, because there might be some stuff here that I'm not covering, I'm not thinking about.
Yes.
I was more thinking of what's the misinformation. Let's correct the misinformation and get that out there. But there may be some people that have some questions that I would never even think of. And I want to make sure that there's somebody that they can reach out to and get the information that they need.
So I always encourage folks to call that FEMA helpline number, that 1-800-621-3362. But also, and if you don't want to do that, if you want that in-person interaction, definitely go into a disaster recovery center and speak to someone there. Again, they can find that at FEMA.gov/DRC. Type in their zip code, and they'll find the closest center to them.
Ms. Smith, I think you summed it all up very well. I appreciate your time. I think that this is very important, especially when, because here's what happens. People like me, we see the disaster on the news and we get lucky it bypasses our crib. But there's somebody on that north side or downtown or somewhere, and they're still going through this every day, and they're struggling.
Yes.
And we've moved on, and they cannot even take another step outside of when the disaster happened. So it's good to know that there's still people out here working on their behalf, and they need to get this information, and we need to talk about it still, because we start to forget, and we're enjoying life again, and somebody's out there in misery because they don't have the information. So again, I did want to make sure that we stopped down, we talked about this, and that you were able to get that information out. So thank you very much, Ms. Smith.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. And, we're here to support Texans as long as needed. So, again, I highly encourage anyone, even if you're unsure if you're going to be eligible for FEMA assistance, to call us at that 800 number or go into a disaster recovery center.
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much, Ms. Smith. Great information.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.